Warning, the following audio transmission will forever change your outlook on society. You will no longer believe the narrative. You are about to wake up and see things for what they really are. News, facts, and opinions. This is the Doom Daily Show.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Doom Daily Show. I am your host, Jester Dooms. The email, doomdailyshow@gmail.com. The website, www.jestersvoice.com. Everywhere on social media, at Jester Dooms. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the show. Leave us a 5-star review wherever you're listening. And don't forget, you can send us an audio message on the website. It's fantastic. Today is February 4th, 2026. I hope everybody's having a lovely hump day. Lovely hump day. So I was talking to you guys about a new app that I joined called Epic Studios, and would really appreciate it if you guys came over there and showed me some support. And some of you already have, so thank you for that. But also, I come to find out that this app, the headquarters and the owners and the developers and all these individuals working with this app are in Statesville, North Carolina. And I thought that was really interesting. It was really nice and refreshing to see that this was an American-based company. It was an American-based app. It's very nice. And it's very, I don't know how to put this, like kind of refreshing to see something like this being built in the U.S. again. Like we went down this road with Clapper because they're made in Texas, and they have some weird Chinese leader oversight stuff going on with them. It's like it is American, but it's like American with foreign technology and so it's like, yeah, I don't know. Now this app is in such infantile stages right now that there is a lot of room for growth. But what I have noticed about this app, and this is what I have noticed, it's all creators who are trying to climb the ropes, trying to climb the ladders, who could not do it on larger social media platforms. Okay, that's a lot of what it is. So the people that are going over there don't have millions of followers. They don't have hundreds of thousands of followers. They barely have tens of thousands of followers. And they're going over there because they're not gaining traction on other platforms. And also a lot of these creators too, they are in it for the gifting sense of, oh, we get gifted more on this platform because for whatever reason, the gifting pushes you out, etc. Some bullshit. I don't know. But it's starting off in its infancy, just like any other app is. And I'm hoping that as it grows, it'll get better and not shittier, because this is the thing. 30-second videos are what rule the goddamn internet and what overtake your cell phone. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube Shorts, TikTok, Clapper, and this new app, and a handful of others. Our attention spans have become so shortened that that's about all we can handle. And I'm now seeing the effects of this widespread throughout America. I get very bored, okay? And I find myself scrolling on 2 phones at one time. I'll be listening to a documentary needing entertainment from another source, or reading an article while I have like a music video streaming on the other one. Like I'll multitask with multiple devices. Okay. And it's gotten to the point where I've like kind of had to stop what I'm doing and look at myself and say, okay, dude, are you like ADD-ing out to the max? Did something get your tism fired up? Like what is happening? Or have I really just kind of mastered the idea of multitasking with technology, like on the computer, building a logo while I'm listening to a documentary on this phone and streaming music on this one? Like, is that just what has happened? I don't know. It's very odd. And it's like, because of what I've done for work and everything else, I've gotten so used to carrying 2 devices with me everywhere I go and having them be for this one's for this function, this one's for that function, this one's for this function, that one's for that function. And this has gone on so long And now I'm just kind of I'm kind of at the point now where it's just like it almost seems like a little bit ridiculous when I walk into a place and it's like I'm pulling out two phones and I'm checking them both. People are looking at me like I'm fucking crazy, and it's like, no, I'm not that important. I just get a shit ton of notifications on my device that I use for like business and social media and shit, and if I'm not keeping up with it, I'll get overwhelmed. So I'm constantly pulling it out, checking the emails, checking notifications on social media, maybe looking at the podcast stats. It's consistent. Anyway, had to go off on that little tangent. I hope everybody's having a lovely Wednesday. It's hump day. You're halfway through the week. I hope your morning's going fantastic. I hope the kids are back in school. Maybe your schools have reopened. We are on a 2-hour delay today, so we'll be going here shortly and getting those little crotch goblins off where they need to go, and then I'll be on my way to take my wife to the airport so she could fly out of town, which means I'm going to be unfucking supervised with all of these kids. And this is a scary thought because they are very stressful. And I don't know what I'm going to do not having my wife be like the mediator. It's going to be fun. Anyway, we'll be right back after these messages.
Hey, Producer Scooter here. First off, thank you for downloading and participating in the wide world of Jester Doom. Please be sure to check out jestersvoice.com website. Everything you want to know is located on jestersvoice.com. If you're looking for salacious details, it's on jestersvoice.com. Don't forget to share the show with your friends and even with all your enemies. And now, back to the musings of Jester Doom.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Doom Daily Show. I'm your host, Jester Dooms. The email, doomdailyshow@gmail.com. Everywhere on social media at Jester Dooms. The website, jestersvoice.com. You know it. Go there. Use it. All right, this is an article on the Epic Times by Zachary Steiber, and this threw me for a loop. Ex-husband of Jill Biden arrested and charged with murder. The ex-husband of former First Lady Jill Biden has been arrested in Delaware for allegedly murdering his wife, authorities said on February 3rd. William Stevenson, 77, was taken into custody on Monday after officials spent weeks investigating the death of his wife, Linda, 64. The Newcastle County Police Department said in a statement. Officials presented evidence to a grand jury, which returned an indictment charging Stevenson with first-degree murder. Stevenson was arrested without incident at his home, which is off Idlewood Road in the Oak Hill neighborhood of Wilmington, the police department said. Stevenson was arraigned and is being held after failing to post bail. It was not immediately clear if Stevenson, who could not be reached, had retained an attorney. Jill Biden, who was married to Stevenson in the 1970s, has not commented on the development. And I mean, let's be honest, why would she? This is her husband of almost 60 fucking years ago. 56 years ago. The hell is she supposed to say? Oh yeah, he was a real prick. Or we get together for bingo and coffee every other night and he helps Joe after he falls down. What is, when you distance yourself from somebody and you get a divorce and that much time has passed, there's really not, that's a long time. I know I have a son and he's in his, he just turned, God, how old is he now? Shit, he's in his 20s. And, it's wild because I haven't seen, spoke to, heard of anything from his mother in almost 10 fucking years. And it's just there's been this giant disconnect and I never want to see her again. I'm hoping that I never have to deal with her again. And I'm hoping her being out of my life kind of stays that way. And I never have to worry about ever speaking about her, of her, encountering her, anything. She's an ex for a fucking reason. And that is the end. So it's just weird to me that they would bring that up and they would connect this, Anyway, first-degree murder carries a penalty of life in prison in Delaware. Linda Stevenson was deeply family-oriented and treasured time spent making memories, especially on family vacations, with her daughter and granddaughter. Her obituary, which does not mention William Stevenson, said, Linda Stevenson's cause of death has not been released. Let's see. The Newcastle County Police Department said in a statement in late 2025 that officers responded to the Oak Hill home after a reported domestic dispute and found Linda Stevens unresponsive in the living room. She was soon pronounced dead. Jill Tracy Jacobs married William Stevenson in 1970. William Stevens was 23 at the time. Biden was a university student and a teenager. The couple divorced after 5 years of marriage. Joe Biden attempted to obtain half ownership of a bar that William Stevenson had started in Newark called The Balloon, but was not successful according to local newspapers. The Balloon closed in 2006. Jill Biden met Joe Biden, a senator and widower, in 1975. They were married in 1977 and have had one child, Ashley Biden, together. Joe Biden was vice president and Jill Biden was second lady from... Joe Biden, wouldn't she be the first lady? From 2009 to 2017, Joe Biden became president and Jill Biden became first lady. In January 2021, the Biden presidency ended in January 2025 after he dropped his re-election bid. Joe Biden's vice president, Kamala Harris, lost to President Donald Trump in the 2024 election. Okay, so just wanted to give you guys the whole article in its entirety because it was short, and that's one of the rare times we get to do that. When those articles are short like that, we can get through the whole thing. It's good. But if this man, if he didn't have a connection to Joe Biden, you would not even see this in the media. It would not be a thing. But high profile because of who she is and who he was married to. So it's really interesting how the media spins and hikes things up. And I wanted to read this article to just basically make a couple key points. Number one, you would have never heard about this. It would never be in the media like this if this wasn't in relation to something to do with the Bidens, high-profile individuals, because people get murdered every day in this country, and it's not national news. And a lot of the things we see are news media outlets just wanting to get all the clickbait that they can. So when you see the headline, Joe Biden, and then murder, you're going to be like, oh, wait, what? I have to go read that. That's juicy. And it is. It is very juicy. But the reality is, these are not news stories that should be coming to the forefront whenever we have so many other things wrong in this country. Okay. There's a lot of things that the general public would be infuriated about if it got out there to the mainstream media. And it doesn't, and it's buried and it's covered up. Why? Because it's not going to get clicks. It's not going to make the news media outlets money. And they know this. There's a reason. So ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to tell you this right now. This show will never go mainstream. Do you know why it'll never go mainstream? Because this show does not fit the fucking narrative, because we tear the narrative to fucking shreds. This will always be underground. It'll never be mainstream. Facts. You, the listeners who are here in the beginning, and the few of you that'll grow with this show, you're the only ones that are going to get this raw, gritty side that they're not putting out there directly in the media. That's it. I mean, that's just all it is. So remember that. Like when I say, hey, give me that IRL, because that's the only way the show's going to get out there. This is not going to get pushed by Spotify or Apple. They don't want the things I'm saying out there. This is not going to get pushed by our host. It's not. This is simply going to get out there if you, the listener, share it. That's it. This will not go mainstream. And, and the fact of the matter is, if it did go mainstream, I would be pissing a lot of people off. And you know this. But frankly, I don't care. Do you know why I don't care? Because some things just need to be said, regardless if certain feelings get hurt. And the truth needs to be told, regardless if people get upset about it. Anyway, we'll be right back after these messages.
Jester from It's Doomsday Podcast and the Doom Daily Show here. Do you ever find yourself overloaded with way too much information? Too many logins, too many passwords, too many websites for stuff you like? Yeah, I'm the same way. You don't have to worry about that with the Doom Daily Show and It's Doomsday Podcast. Let's make it simple. Just visit linktree.com/JesterDooms. Add it to your bookmarks. That way, when you need to find the right information, it's right there, under a tap of your finger or a click of your mouse. Go to linktree.com/JesterDooms. Get it, got it, done. Remember, no one has all the answers, but this will provide you with a place to start. linktree.com/JesterDooms. And now, on with the conversation. And here's Jester.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Doom Daily Show. Once again, I'm your host, Jester Dooms. That has not changed. In case you thought it did, it hasn't. Has not changed. All right. U.S. forces shoot down Iranian drone over the Arabian Sea. Saw in the Epic Times. A U.S. fighter jet shot down an Iranian drone as it approached a U.S. aircraft carrier in the Arabian Sea on February 3rd, the U.S. Central Command has announced. The incident comes as a moment of heightened tension between Washington and Tehran. President Donald Trump recently ordered naval forces to the Middle East and has threatened military strikes on Iran if it doesn't agree to new limits on its nuclear development. CENTCOM, which oversees U.S. military operations in the Middle East, said that the aircraft carrier, the USS Abraham Lincoln, was operated about 500 miles from Iran's southern coast on Tuesday, when U.S. forces spotted what they identified as an Iranian Shahad 139 drone. In an emailed press statement, CENTCOM said that the Iranian drone unnecessarily maneuvered toward the aircraft carrier. CENTCOM said U.S. forces issued de-escalatory instructions, but the drone continued on its path toward the aircraft carrier. That's when an F-35C Lightning II stealth fighter jet assigned to the aircraft carrier inverted and shot down the drone. No American service members were harmed during this incident, and no U.S. equipment was damaged, CENTCOM said of the incident. CENTCOM reported a separate incident hours later in which two Iranian Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps boats and Iranian Mohajer drone approached a U.S. flagged and U.S. crewed merchant vessel known as the MV Stena Imperative. The merchant vessel was operating near the Strait of Hormuz at the time. The IRGC boat allegedly threatened to board the U.S. merchant vessel, but the guided missile destroyer USS McFaul arrived on the scene. The U.S. Air Force also intervened to provide defense air support. According to CENTCOM, the second incident de-escalated after the U.S. warship and aircraft intervened. Last week, CENTCOM issued a direct warning for Iranian forces to avoid proactive behavior near U.S. forces, regional partners, or commercial vessels. The downing of the Iranian drone comes ahead of a planned meeting in Turkey on Friday between U.S. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff and Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi. Can't stand these foreign names, guys. It's very difficult for me. Speaking with reporters outside the White House on Tuesday, White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt said talks as of right now are scheduled. Obviously, it takes two to tango. You need a willing partner to achieve diplomacy, and there's something that Special Envoy Witkoff is intent on exploring and discussing, Leavitt said. She added that Trump has a range of options for dealing with Iran and referenced the June 2025 strikes on the 3 Iranian nuclear facilities. So I personally haven't been keeping up too closely with what's been going on with Iran, but its tensions are escalating. It's getting hot, and it looks like something big may come of this. And you have other nations that are also gearing up like, let's go. We're ready. Anyway, we'll be right back after these messages.
Hey, producer Scooter here. And if you've made it this far, I just want to commend you for diligent listening skills. But also, I want you to take a moment since you've come this far with us. Send an email to doomdailyshow@gmail.com. Let us know where you're listening from. If you have any ideas for something you'd like Jester to address or talk about, send us an email. That's doomdailyshow@gmail.com. Thanks for listening.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Doom Daily Show. I wanted to take that break a little bit on the early side so we can do the rest of the show uninterrupted. Just me and you and your ear holes. So the idea of, war escalating and what we talked about on yesterday's show with the Chinese warship, it seems like, listen, we have just now, it's only fucking February. It's only February. Let that sink in. It's only February. We have seen so much go on in the first month of 2026. I'm willing to bet we are going to see some absolute shit shows rolling forward this year. Okay. Now, I think it's really funny that there has been like a shift in the climate. All right. And what I mean by that now is we went from about 10 years ago worrying about what bathrooms people were supposed to go in and what rights men had to what women's things. Like that was the hot thing 10 years ago. Kids shitting in litter boxes in school and the whole 9 yards. We have drastically strayed away from all that to get into the new things that are plaguing us, which are, this whole ICE situation and deportation situation in America has shadowed everything else. Now, I want you guys to understand something. The reality is that once something isn't getting media attention anymore, it's like they need something else, something bigger, better than before. Okay, so you have to remember, news, and I don't give a shit what anybody says, news is an entertainment industry. You want to know what's going on. It entertains you to sit and listen to the news anchor talk to you and, tell you what's going on. Don't you know there's a method here. They're all clean cut. They're all put together. They all have the same kind of tones to their voice. It's all set up the same. It's to familiarize you with gaining information. And it's to keep you comfortable with these people that you see on TV. These local, these like news anchor celebrities, like, the ones. And the fact of the matter is that they have to keep getting more brash. They have to keep getting bigger, better stories in order for them to keep up their ratings. And they're in an era that's dying for them. And they haven't figured it out yet. Because the new era of news is social media. Whenever you could scroll on your phone and get breaking news right to your smartphone, that's the era we're in now. If something happens, it's getting millions of views on TikTok and passed around like crazy, and then everybody knows within minutes, hours, it's out there. There's no time for the news media outlets anymore to like work up a story and write up a script and all this shit. It's like, nope, you saw it, it's out there. It's there, it's out there. Now, I want you guys to think about, like, we're going to use a random movie franchise. Let's use Transformers. Transformers is good. So Transformers came out mid to late 2000s, I believe, like 2007 was the first movie that came out, I think. Anyway, so, directed by Michael Bay, big booms, explosions, cool technology that we've never seen before. And it's like, man, that was awesome. You had the military with these robots, these aliens, man, fuck yeah, Megan Fox, and like all these things, right? Well, they want to keep making money. So what do? They make a sequel that's bigger and better. And then they want to make more money. So they have to make another sequel that's bigger and better, and so on and so forth. And that's what they have to keep doing. And this has been the thing with like every franchise you see, like look at the Marvel movies. It's like they all have to surpass the previous one in order to put asses in movie theater seats. Okay. And now we're, coming to this realization and starting to realize this in the media, and they're doing what they can. They're grasping. They're trying to get to the point where every news story is bigger and better than it was before, and it's keeping you sucked in. And I mean, the evidence is all around that the news media outlets are dying. It's all around. How many people out there still pay for a regular cable bill where they actually get news channels? I don't. I pay for a couple streaming services. That's it. If I want news, I'll go on my phone, go see what's on live on YouTube. And they know this because they started picking up Like ABC has a live news thing that's running on TikTok all the time. There's live news on YouTube all the time. They know, because that's how they get the information out there. And they know that they can monetize off of it, so why the fuck not? And then you come to the other, like, secondary realization to it that now they've just decided to start getting on board with it, so they know. They know it's coming. I say all of this to pull this back full circle and say, wait till the fucking sequel. We are about to see some shit in this country. And it scares me for the people that are going to become victims of this. It scares me for the escalation that we're going to see in blood spilled in our streets. It's terrifying. And that's why it's so important. When I come into the show, I talk to you guys about stuff. I try to spread a really positive message, and I try to cut through the bullshit. I try to prevent you from arguing with your neighbor over petty shit, but in the same time, enlightening them with the truth and facts. And I try to help you all see things for what they really, truly are, and not walk around in this world with blinders on, hating people you're hating because the government told you to, or being mad at a situation that you have no control over, or letting some bullshit that happened 500 miles away from you ruin your fucking day that you have no goddamn control of at all. Because that's what happens. A blip goes across the news screen. Be angry about this. Look, here's a video. We'll be back in 10 minutes. Watch these commercials so we can make money. Oh, you're still here? Good. Let us tell you why you need to be angry. We gave you half the information. Watch some more commercials. We'll be right back. Okay, here's the whole story. All right, you're angry. You're good. You're angry. You're pissed. All right, we're going to tell you who you need to hate right after the break. Here's a commercial. Buy that so we make money. Oh, you're back? This is who you should hate. This is who you should hate. Do you hate them yet? Good. Okay, we'll be right back after these messages. You come back, and then it's instruction on how to deal with these people that you hate, that you didn't hate till you saw what they put on your TV screen, that was not affecting your daily existence until they told you it was. That's what's happening. That's what's going on. It's very sad. It's very sad a lot of people buy into this. I've heard someone tell me before, I don't watch the news because it's depressing. Well, it is. I had another gentleman told me he took his TVs out of his home because he didn't welcome this information into his house. I couldn't agree more. Anyway, stay strong. You're almost at the weekend. We'll be back with another exciting episode of the Doom Daily Show tomorrow. Producer Scooter, if you would, hit that button, sir.
News, facts, and opinions. This is the Doom Daily Show.